classe, aujourd'hui, nous conjuguerons un ER verb. Today we're going to take some of that prior knowledge of all of these other ER verbs and we're going to conjugate them. Remember how we've already learned how to say j'aime, I like, or even ask a question, do you like, tu aimes? And then we had all of these verbs that ended in ER. We had étudier, parler, danser, chanter, jouer, voyager, travailler, manger, écouter, téléphoner, and many more. So you already know all of these verbs. Now we're going to take it a step further. We're going to take it from I like, and we're going to be able to say I travel. I do travel. I am traveling. So we're going to take this prior knowledge and add it on. Première, c'est nécessaire de commencer avec les pronoms. Les pronoms en français sont, les voilà. Here are the pronouns that you need in French. Notice that none of these are capitalized because in English we capitalize ourselves, but in French they do not do that. So we're going to start with the singular side. We're going to start with je. Je is a pronoun for I. And I know Mom taught you never to point, but we're going to do a little pointing to help us remember. You're going to point your finger and you're going to point to yourself. This is to help you remember that je is one person and it's going back to yourself, I. So je is I. Let's work on that pronunciation. Répétez, je. Très bien, je. To our next pronoun, we have tu. Tu is you. In French, they have two different yous. This is the singular side. This is the one you use for one first name. So remember how we had this for je? I'd like for you to look directly at one of your neighbors, look them straight in the eye, point to them and say tu. One finger because you're only talking to one person. Tu. So that is the pronoun you. So let's back up a bit. Répétez, je, tu. So those are the two pronouns, the ones that you probably are going to be using the most. Then we have he. He is il. Il. Now in the future you're going to learn that il means he and it also means it. But for right now we're just going to use it as he. So we have il. So remember this is je, tu. Now for il, I just want you to point sideways, look at a young man, point at him, and then look away because you're going to point to him. Remember this is I. You look directly in somebody's eyes for tu, for you, and look at him, look away, and that's for il, he. So that is he. So we need to add she, and that's the last of the singular pronouns for today. And this one is elle. Elle. You're going to do the same thing that you did for il. Il pointed to one young man. This time, find a young lady in the class. Point to her, look away, and say elle, she. She's beautiful. Elle est belle. So these are the singular pronouns. We have je, tu, il, and elle. Now we've got to move over to the plural side. If you have je, we have one finger pointing at yourself. If somebody else came and joined you, that would be two fingers, we. So this is the singular side, moving across to the plural side. This is nous. Nous. Two fingers pointing at yourself this time, because there's two of you, we. This is nous. Vous. Vous is the plural you. Remember we had tu for one first name, pointed, looked at somebody in the eye and pointed right at them and said tu. This time you're going to point two fingers, look them in the eye and say vous. Vous. This is you. But here in Texas we wouldn't say you, we'd say y'all. So this is the pronoun for y'all. This is nous and vous. Répétez, nous, vous. Très bien. The last two pronouns are il and elle, pluriel. Vous prononcez il et elle la même que le singulier. They're pronounced exactly the same. The S in French is silent. So you want to say il. Remember when you had the singular, You pointed to one young man. This time you have two fingers. It's not rude in this case. And you're going to point to two young men. And that becomes they. Il is special because it can be for boys only, or it can also be for boys and girls. So you can just point to two people and say il, referring to they, a bunch of guys, or you could have a group, mixed genders. Our final one is elle, but this one, it has to be 100% girls. It cannot have a single male in this group. Otherwise, you have to use the il form. So this is elle. Class, what I'd like for you to do is find a group of girls, two or more, point to them, and that would be they. So our pronouns are we, y'all, they for boys and girls, or boys only, and elle for 100% girls. So these are our pronouns. We. We're going to add an ER verb conjugation, but we need to practice a little bit. When I say the pronoun, I would like for you to point to the right person. If I said je, for instance, I would like for you to point to je. Très bien. Commencez. Le pronoun il, pluriel. Pointed two fingers to the guys over there. That's excellent. Nous, nous, nous. Right, that's two fingers, one for yourself and one for somebody else, because this is we. We. If you want to say elle, singular, elle, elle. You're going to point to the girl over there. Don't look at her because you want to say she. Just like il, elle can be she or it, but right now it's just she. Continuez. Vous, vous. Vous, that's right, you got to look them straight in the eye and point to two people, that's y'all. Très bien. So les pronoms, répétez, je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle. And those are the pronouns. So now we're going to stick a verb to it. We have our pronouns, and now we're going to put a verb. Let's pick out of all our verbs of étudier, voyager, travailler, manger, écouter, téléphoner. We're going to pick parler because everybody likes to talk. Parler. P-A-R-L-E-R. This is to speak. Now we have to change it up because you don't want to say, I too speak French, you too speak French, he too speak French. We change it up in English. It comes natural. The more practice you do with the French, it's also going to come natural to you. So you've got parler. I'm going to use some big words at you right now. We have parler. That's called an infinitive. It's to do something. To speak, to dance, to sing, to study. But, as I just demonstrated, that's not how you use it in a sentence. So you've got to change it. Step one, we're going to take off the ER. And that leaves us with parle. Parle is our stem. For every one of these, je is P-A-R-L, tu, P-A-R-L, il et elle. They're conjugated the same way. P-A-R-L, nous, P-A-R-L, vous, P-A-R-L, and il and elle are also conjugated the same way. P-A-R-L. So that's our stem. You notice the stem is exact same for all six. But now we've got to change them up. We have different endings. For je, it gets an E ending. And I know it just looks like a little letter, but that changes it from I to speak to I do speak, or I am speaking. Do. To is E-S. E-S. Il and elle, vous achetez eux. For nous, vous ajoutez O, N, S. Remember our alphabet from earlier in the year? Got to use that. Nous parlons. Vous, P, A, R, L, ajoutez E, Z. Parlez. Et il et elle pluriel, vous ajoutez E, N, T. So those are the endings. These endings are very important. I know it's just a couple letters, but you can't move them around. You put this ES here on L. Now you have, he are talking. That's not what you want. You take off the EZ and you put an E. Now you have, he am talking. Sorry. You am talking, or is talking. And that doesn't work with you. So these are the endings. Fortunately, I have a little song for you so you can help remember these endings. When you were little, I know you used to sing, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, sonnez les matines, din din dong, din din dong. Well, when my girls were little and we were watching Barney, I noticed that he always put things to a tune to help out these boys and girls. So I went, you know, I can do that in class too. So fortunately for y'all, we're going to have Barney in the class and we're going to learn the song. So in order for it to fit, we have to add a gets here with the ones with only one ending. I guarantee this song will work. It'll help you with your tests. I've seen many students sit there when you have an ER verb test. Now see the nodding going on and then the writing. So you've got to learn this song. It'll help you out. So, écoutez, s'il vous plaît. This should say gets instead of get. Je gets E to ES. Il gets E. Elle gets E. Nous ONS. Vous easy. Il ENT. L-E-N-T. So now it's your turn. Let's see if you can sing with us. Oui? Chantez avec moi. Je gets E to ES. Il gets E. Elle gets E. Nous ONS. Vous easy. Il ENT. L-E-N-T. Très bien, class. Now for homework, that would be something that you can keep practicing and practicing. So this is how we conjugate a regular ER verb. Okay, now we know our endings, we've got to work on our pronunciation just a bit. This is called a boot verb. I don't know if you're going to recognize it with my drawing, but this is a boot. And the reason this is a boot, because everything inside the boot, even with different endings, is pronounced the exact same. This is parle, 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 and parle. I know you want to do it, but please don't do parlant. Ooh, it's parle. So, répétez, je parle, tu parles, il parle, elle parle, il parle. And then the nous and the vous, we have nous parlons, répétez, nous parlons, et vous parlez. Très bien. Work with that pronunciation also tonight. Finally, we have the hard job to do in English. We have 3 ways of conjugating a verb. We say, I speak, I do speak, I am speaking. But in French, your job is much easier. You just have to memorize these 6 endings and you can conjugate any verb that ends with the ER that is regular on the French. Merci beaucoup, classe. Au revoir.